Italy, not very well known for the good performance in World War II, and especially not well known for good tank design. But today, I want to answer the question, can you play Italy while only using tank divisions, and how far can I push this challenge? So without further ado, Iron Man, historical, and go. So, Italy, 1936, this is our tank division. It's not good. And even worse, this is our tank. Yeah, we have a lot to fix. But before we can do that, let's talk about what counts as a tank division. And I'm gonna take my standard rule here with everything that has over 50% hardness. And on top of that, I'm only allowed to use motorized, mechanized, or tanks. But support companies are allowed. On top of that, what I do allow myself to use is Air Force and Navy. And they're actually gonna be very important. So right now we have nothing in our army that counts as a legal tank division for this challenge. The problem is, Italy has those very cool divisions that I'm not allowed to delete. So yeah, what I'm gonna do now is, because we have this situation over here, I'm gonna take the L, evacuate all my troops into Italy, because this is gonna be dreadful to manage, and we go off from there. Industry-wise, we will need a lot of mills, so let's build those. Research-wise, we need to catch up in tank technology, and we need to catch up fast. And yes, I'm gonna start with light tanks, but later on, I wanna go into heavy tanks. Yes, we're gonna have some fun with this nation. But until then, basic armor protection and basic engine. It's kind of sad that we don't start with those. We're really behind. Production-wise, I'm gonna put a lot into tanks and motorized equipment, because we're gonna need a lot of that. Even though our current tank is absolutely useless, it counts for the challenge, and we need something now, because I even use tanks for garrison. Yes, we will do the challenge this hardcore. So let's build them. And for the first focus, we gotta wait a little bit, because I need a little bit of political power to withdraw from Ethiopia. Yeah, that costs political power. I know. Fun. So with enough political power, let's withdraw. And Ethiopia accepts. Very good. Now we have two choices. Either we complete the focus on the left, going more towards a democratic or communist Italy, or we complete the focus on the right, which means we will stay more on the authoritarian side. And because I have a stupid idea for this challenge, we will stay on the right side, bypassing us a lot of focuses. Now with no more time to lose, let's get army primacy or the army experience and the mill factories. Both very important right now. And best of all, 35-day focus. Very good. And by the way, before I forget it, putting our garrison to no garrison. We can only put the garrison back when I have a tank division that I can garrison with. I know you love to see me do hard challenges, but if you want to see actual pros play Hearts of Iron 4, then you will love today's sponsor, the HOI4 World Championship presented by Speed 5. Because starting February, you can watch the best HOI4 players trying to get in their first ever Arena Grand Finale in HOI4 history, where they will be battling each other live in Stockholm on the 4th to 5th of May to get $20,000. And best of all, you can be there live. Tickets are available right now over at www.hoi4worlds.com. And trust me, that's an event you don't want to miss, because I won't. And if you act fast, you and your buddies can team up and get limited group tickets at a discount price. And best of all, Speed 5 has even provided me with a ticket to give to my community. So write under the pinned comment right now why you want to have it, and I will choose the best answer and give it to them. Just make sure you can be there. And if you think you've got what it takes to join the fight yourself, then download the Commanders HOI4 mod from the Steam Workshop and head over to disco.gg/HOI4Commanders to partake in the $20,000 tournament right now. HOI4 competitive play has never been bigger, so get involved now. And thanks again to Speed 5 for making this possible and sponsoring this video. And yes, I will actually be there. Looking forward to it. The focus is done. Let's get a bandits war. And now that our entire army, navy, and air force has returned to Italy, I have the honor of reorganizing everything. As a first step, I will change the quote-unquote tank division to an actual tank division, making it 16 rip for now, but I don't have more army experience. I used everything up right now. So yeah, good enough for me. And it has 53% hardness, so it does count. So let's put it into garrison. Putting it to local police force should be good enough. And I've officially split my army into tank divisions that I'm actually allowed to use, and stuff I just can't delete because Italy. And I'm also gonna delete every template that is not a tank and that I can delete. So we're only with that left. The focus is done, so let's undermine the douche and prepare for a better government. Now after undermine the douche and conspiracy in the shadow, we can finally convene the Grand Council, giving us another light advisor and undermining Mussolini's power even more. On the side, I've also got myself a Chief of Army, Maneuver, expert, because we really need army experience. Yeah, reforming your entire army concept is hard. And because we have the political power and it is cheaper, let's get war economy, giving us amazing bonuses for mill construction. And oh boy, do we want to build a lot of mills. Convene the Grand Council is done, but I don't want to depose Mussolini just yet, because if we do that, we get a very bad modifier and a very bad leader. So yeah, we're gonna wait for that until we can rush down the monarchist path, because hidden in here are very good bonuses for tanks, but more about that later. For now, let's start to improve our economy. Italian highways, 35-day focus, I love it. Fast focus is done. Let's get the Ministry of Italian Africa. This is very important because it gives us political power, what we need, but even more importantly, it allows me to get rid of the colonial divisions. I just want to delete them, but I can't. They are so bad. They're a thorn in my eye. And now that we have enough political power, let's get the staunch monarchists. We do need a lot of non-aligned support, so let's start. On the side, we have also finished the focus, and I'm immediately gonna click disband irregulars. Goodbye. Now we're only left with the black shirt militias, which we can't get rid of for quite a while. Anyways, let's get the research slot. And because it will be necessary, let's upgrade our light tank. It is way more expensive now, but also way better. This tank is just so much worse in so many ways. And while we can still do it, I want to increase the conscription law. Extensive conscription, let's get it. And now that we have enough army experience, I'm gonna change from Grand Battle Plan to Mobile Warfare. And yes, it hurts a little bit to say that, but for the tank-only challenge, we will need Mobile Warfare. So a little bit of time has passed. I fixed the Air Force a bit, and it's some more industry focuses, but because we have enough non-aligned support, let's go down to the monarchist path. Dispose Mussolini. Goodbye. What also is gonna help is having a Mobile Warfare expert, making the doctrine 15% cheaper. That's actually pretty good. On the side, I'm also gonna get motorization drive, making it basically free to create tank divisions. Very good. So, with the post of Mussolini, making our focus tree a little bit more compact. Very nice. Still huge. But let's go down the monarchist route. Monarchia d'Italia. Another 35-day focus. Very good. And with the focus complete, we have the king back in charge. And because I'm a bit bored, let's get to foreign affairs. Another 35-day focus. Very good. And yeah, we lost a lot of our generals and field marshals. Let me just promote this guy to field marshal because he's a tank officer and he has very good bonuses. Right now even decreased by his recent promotion. Yeah, I like him a lot, so let's use it. It is funny because I want to attack them very soon, but Yugoslavia requests sale of airplanes. For a nice industry bonus for half a year, let's give them some bombers. Very old bombers. And let's finally do Balkan Ambition. And on the side, I'm also going to do some raids. This should make it easier to get our non-aligned support up, because for the power to the king focus, we need 50% non-aligned support. I know I didn't say it before, but yeah, we need a lot of non-aligned support. And because we need them at some point, let's get heavy tanks. Balkan Ambition is done. Let's occupy Albania. And on the side, we can now demand Dalmatia. And Yugoslavia accepts, making this war a bit easier. And here another amazing spirit from Mobile Warfare, very fittingly called Maneuver Warfare, giving us division speed. And on the side, we annex Albania. Yeah, these focuses are very fast. It is actually crazy. But you know what? Let's fix our army a bit more. Once again, more division speed. Very good. Now let's send an ultimatum to Yugoslavia. I have around 10 tank divisions now, which doesn't sound like a lot because it isn't. But I think it should be enough to defeat Yugoslavia and after that, Romania. Yugoslavia refuses, so war it is. So the north is encircled. Very nice. Now let's take care of the south. I have to say I built a pretty good tank design because the airplanes are the start airplanes. I've built no airplanes so far, but the tanks are pretty good. Already in Belgrade. This is so good. Another encirclement and a victory. Puppeting Yugoslavia, taking all of the industry and the resources. Very good. And yes, I've not learned from my last disaster save. I will puppet Yugoslavia again. But this time, I actually will join the Axis, so it doesn't matter. Okay? And because we can do it, let's get an armor specialist and immediately employ him. And with one small push through, we are in the capital city of Romania. It is just this good. And Romania has capitulated. Very good. Once again, I'm gonna puppet everything that the Soviet Union doesn't want. Take the resources and take the industry. I feel like that was a very successful early war. So with this over here cleaned up, let's put our eyes to bigger goals. The Allies. And because we have enough non-aligned support, let's give power to the king. We don't need to do it now, but I really want to do it now. So let's finally disband the black shirts. Removing the black shirts infantry division and generally just making me happy. The black shirts are gone, finally. So now, let's go into the interesting part. Seek papal support. yeah, we're gonna go down the Pope route. And yeah, this one has the tank bonuses. And while I do this, the Pope died. Very sad. Seek papal support is done. Let's do Agents of the Church. And let's also do the Pope decisions. Expand the Lateran Treaty, giving the Pope more support. Agent of the Church is done. Let's do Strengthen the Papacy. And on the side, let's condemn this. The Papacy has been strengthened, giving us a very good modifier. So let's now set a course for greater expansion, giving us more support, experience, and a good national spirit. Let's also do liturgical reforms for even more Pope support, bringing us all the way up to 60. And what we have to do now is wait a year, because then we can do this again, and when we're over 60% support, the Pope will take over. And yes, we want the Pope to take over. Setting a course is done. Let's do Mare Nostrum. Very good. And now let's take Italian legions, giving us even more division speed. That's gonna be fun. In the background, the Second World War has started, allowing us to justify on the Allies. Italian legions is done. And for the next focuses, I'm gonna repair our army. For the important focuses, we need to be at war with a major power, but I have a feeling that won't be a problem. War goal is done. Let's join the war. And our tanks are just rushing through France. On the side, I also right-clicked into Paris. Yeah, they caught me. Thought it would be funny to get there. Nope, caught me. Very sad. And France has capitulated. Very good. By the way, let me just delete my faction so I can actually join the Axis. I think this will make this entire thing a little bit easier. And because I can't take Gibraltar, let's try something else. Iberian protection. Spain says yes, and so says Portugal. Very good. Now with Spain under my control, let's take Gibraltar. And yes, I'm doing this because I forgot my fleet in the Mediterranean. I'm kind of stupid. I could have put it out before, but nope. Smooth brain. Gibraltar is under our control, so let's go to Britain. And because a year has passed, let's do the reforms one more time and getting the Pope's ascendancy, making the Pope the leader of the non-aligned party. And here he is. Pretty cool. This now unlocked the secret Pope path, which is very cool, and I've actually never done before, just did a small test stream, and I have to say, this is pretty cool. And you might ask yourself now, where do you have the tank bonuses? Over here. And no, it's not normal tank bonuses. It is super heavy tank bonuses. So yeah, we're gonna use super heavy tanks in this playthrough. Pretty cool. So let's do the Papacy Reborn, renaming us to the Papal State and replacing papal support with the Papal State. Very good. But on an even more important note, our naval invasion has started. And to distract the British, I'm gonna call in my subjects in Africa. And I'm actually very lucky. There's like no British people in Britain. Where are they? So let's be very fast and take over everything. And the invasion is going very well, which is very good, because in my test run, this was an absolute disaster. I'm very happy about this. But yeah, I just stayed with light tanks for a bit longer, and that was actually pretty good. Allowed me to easily win here. I just forgot my fleet in the Mediterranean, and that was kind of stupid. I have no excuse for that. And look at that. Papacy Reborn, making us the Papal State. And we can now get Dios Volt, giving us a 5% attack modifier, 10% for factory output, and a plus 50% offensive war penalty stability modifier, which means we will lose way less stability if we declare a war. That is so strong. Goodbye, Liverpool, and goodbye, Great Britain. The peace conference is over. I got Great Britain and the Dutch East Indies. Also demanded control over the resources, which is gonna be very good in the long run. But we can't be lazy now, so while we're still in the Axis, let's take out France again. And because we have a big industry now, let's research the super heavy tech chassis. And because I'm really gonna do it now, let's fix our industry. You know, better late than never. The war goal is done. Let's start our crusade against France. And yeah, we're just overrunning the French. Those tanks are so speedy. I love it. The war is done. And this time, I'm just gonna annex them, because I'm starting to have way too many puppets. And let's annex Yugoslavia, because I don't want the Germans to have a war goal on me anymore. Yeah, that was kind of scary. And the Germans have started the war against the Soviet Union. This is a very good point to dip out of the Axis and create our own glorious faction, the Holy Alliance. Looking pretty sick. Now let's do the Holy Lands. We will ask our puppet to give us Jerusalem. Because yeah, I kind of gave it to Britain because I wanted to puppet the region, but yeah, I didn't think about that the focus needs it. So good that we get it from the focus. The focus is done. And do we get the Holy Land? We do. Very good. I just noticed over here we get super heavy tank bonuses and the super heavy tank, and over here too. The big question is, do we get both, or do we can can only get one of them. I don't want to fight Germany right now, but I'm actually intrigued enough to do both focuses immediately. So let's get them. A time for war. So we got a time for war. And yeah, we still get the bonus. So we can get minus 40% production costs for super heavy tanks and plus 10% armor. You know what? I'm bored. Let's take Greece and go. This looks pretty good. Oh, my tanks in combination with the Air Force is just so good. By the way, on the side, let me just annex France real quick. Thank you very much. Of course, deleting all of the non-tank divisions. Be gone. And stealing the Navy. And while this is going on, let's get modern musculars. We already got the Hand of God as super heavy tank artillery. We only need to research the rockets, I guess. So let's start that. And now we're also getting a normal one. I mean, can you say normal with super heavy tanks? I don't even know. Wait. Oh my god. They put the super heavy tank on the production line. So even though we don't have the technology to build it, we're not allowed to. We don't have this. We're still building it. This tank was literally sent by God because we don't have the technology yet. Now let me present you the first version of the Swiss Guard division. Motorized heavy tanks with super heavy tank support divisions. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. Now let's do the Catholic Dominion. Changing to the Catholic Dominion, big surprise, and unlocking the Mare Nostrum decision. It also makes it cheaper to puppet nations, so that's also pretty good. Let's take it. Now let's start building this beast. Greece has capitulated, and with something to do in the meantime, I guess. And the Catholic Dominion is done, improving this spirit by a lot. By the way, I just checked, we sadly only get this super heavy tank modifier once. Yeah, the focus light, but still very good. And Japan has declared war on me, but this should hold them off. So I improved the tank division and apparently had some medium tanks in it, and it was not meant to be in there, but here we have the final tank division, and I'm missing a lot of heavy tanks. Oh no. A lot of time has passed, but I built myself up a huge tank force, partially of light tanks and partially of heavy with super heavy tanks. This was very expensive to build. Way too expensive. Not at all worth it. But I want to try it out. So let's go in. First, encirclement of this war. Very good. Okay, Bulgaria has capitulated without Germany ever joining. So I'm just going to take that. Very good. Now let's try to take out Hungary. And for some reason, Germany hasn't joined yet. I actually don't mind at all, but it is kind of weird. Hungary has capitulated. This time, I'm going to puppet the land because it reduces my front line with Germany. That's not a bad thing. The war is over, and I took the industry and resources. Stuff that I very much need right now. Because building heavy tanks, very expensive. Anyways, let's go in for the big prize. The Holy Alliance versus the Axis. By the way, on the side, I'm still fighting Japan, but I think they lost so much navy. They only did this naval landing over here, that one over here. I think it's because they can't get naval dominance. The navy is probably absolutely evaporated. The last doctrine is done, and we finished a compliance government. Now let's officially go into Germany. Let's go. And oh my god, I thought this would be way harder in the beginning. I'm just beginning to melt them. I mean, in the mountains, they're struggling more. That makes sense. But in France, the combination of heavy and light tanks are just melting the Germans. I was confused why the entire offensive stopped. I'm out of fuel. Oh my god, do I need a lot of fuel? I'm gonna use my entire economy just to import fuel. And it's still not enough. What is this? And yes, we're having fuel again. Now let's push even more. We're so quick, we even pushed through Maginot Line. That is actually wild. I didn't expect that. But I really need to clean up Western France. Otherwise, I will not have enough divisions for this offense. Oh no, Hungary's in this war. Oh no. Turkey just joined the Axis. Are you joking? Oh my god. I was able to contain it, but this wasn't fun. The entire offensive halted, obviously, and I lost all of this land over here, including the Holy Land in a second. But yeah, we are alive, which is actually an important part here. I just did a huge swing around, cut them off of supply, and then just wrecked them with superior air force and tanks. But this meant that this entire offensive stopped and that the Germans got some time to reorganize, which I wanted to avoid, but I guess it is what it is. So we control the strait. I think I don't want to take much more than that because it's a good position to defend, and we just focus on the Germans again. That should be very good. So goodbye, German army. Oh, by the way, what is Otto from Habsburg in charge of Hungary? I didn't even notice that. That is actually funny. Anyways, back to fighting between the light tank divisions and the super heavy tank divisions. I have to say the light tank divisions are just way better, unironically, because even though the super heavy tank divisions have a big punch, it takes them forever to get anywhere. and the light tank divisions just encircle everything immediately. It is wild. But they are kind of a cool combination, I have to say that. Because the heavy tank divisions can pin the enemies and hold the line. The light tank divisions just push forward and encircle everything. By the way, Britain, stop giving me those units. Goodbye. So should you build them? No, not really, but I guess they're cool, you know, like, I guess. Ah, yes. I love the AI when they do that. Just completely walking beside me, and there's nothing I can do against it. And I fixed that too. But you know what? Let's finally push. How about that? We are in Berlin. Yeah, the push is kind of hard. A lot of time has passed. And I've gained total air dominance because the Germans just don't have any planes anymore. And as soon as they bring any planes up, they just die instantly. If you're wondering what's going on with the Soviet Union, yeah, they're still around. They just really struggle. By the way, they're very heavily pushing down here. Maybe I should get a bit of air force down here. But yeah, you see that tanks can do nothing. They're very good in defense, but they just can't push. They're literally a wall. A very useful wall. They held this entire front line here for a very long time. But without the light tanks, this would be impossible. And Germany has capitulated. Very good. Only Turkey missing. Yeah, I do feel like Turkey doesn't have a good time anymore. Maybe they regret the sin of joining the Axis now. But yeah, my light tank divisions, when you unleash them, they're pretty quick. Yep. Welcome to the peace conference. The peace conference is over, and it could be worse, as long as you don't look too much into Africa, but here's what it is. Ethiopia just released so many African nations, so this is gonna feel very good. And I guess at the end, the Italians will take Ethiopia. Ironic. And Ethiopia, be gone. Okay, I'll let it in Japan. This was easier than I thought it would be. Finally. Goodbye, Japan. So, I integrate Portugal and deleted the units. So we can finally now do Mare Nostrum, which allows us to core a lot of Europe, and not just Europe. Hey, I got an achievement. Holy Roman and an empire. As the Pope, restore Rome. So yeah, take only Italy. I would say complete success. It was a lot of fun, but also very painful. Thanks again to Speed5 for sponsoring this video. These were my templates. And to my patrons, I love you. Until next time, bye.